Alrighty, friends, have a small update today with some proxy cards for my collection. So, the Everyday Wonder set on TCG Pocket recently came out, I think now about a week or two ago, which is long enough for good quality scans of the cards to be available for printing. So, I went ahead and I made proxies of all the cards that I wanted to from this set. As a general rule of thumb, I like to do all of what would be considered the illustration rares, the special illustration rares, and the immersion rares. I don't like to do the full arts or the shinies, as like the effect that they put on them in just like the art by itself doesn't print very well, doesn't really translate to like a physical copy terribly well, but everything else tends to do so. Something I will note, though, if you are interested in printing proxies from TCG Pocket, which I highly encourage, it's very fun. I would say about half the cards, like the illustration rares that they make for TCG Pocket, are with a color scheme that renders well in a printer, and half of them are with a color scheme that is basically meant to only be viewed through a digital lens, like through a screen, essentially. So, you might have, like, even if you have like a really high quality printer, you're still not really going to be able to capture all of the colors and the saturation that you would on screen through your printer, just because of how like the screen color palette translates to the printer color palette. So just do keep that in mind when you're making your proxies. Like, you can still get them to a really high quality setting, but they're never really going to retain the same effect. So but with this set, I went ahead and I sorted them in generation order. These are not in Pokedex order yet. I don't have the Pokedex memorized, even though it's been 16 years of being in the hobby, but, you know, in my defense, they keep adding stuff every few years. So, I at least am generally able to tell on site what generation a Pokemon is from, what order they're in, however, besides like being the starters or being like the legendaries. I would not be able to do that from the top of my head. But anyway, so from Everyday Wonders, we have, let's get this in frame here. We have the Jigglypuff, the Snorlax, which is way greener in a physical printing. Digitally, it looks like this is a far paler green, but I think I actually like this color palette better because Snorlax actually looks like himself. Like, actually, this is like the actual Snorlax colors to me, so I do like that. The Pikachu, the yellow didn't render quite correctly. Like, it is very, very yellow, and like the physical printing makes it look very, very, very yellow. But still a cute art for Pikachu, so we put it in. The Vulpix looks pretty true to lighting. I do really like how the Vulpix turned out, so good on that one. And then I don't typically print cards just like common cards in the sets, because they tend to be cards that like physically already exist in the TCG, but these ones do not have a physical printing in the TCG, and I think they're very funny and cute, especially the Goomy, which we will get to. And then also the Quagsire. Shout out to this Quagsire. I love him so much. He's just the epitome of Quag. And then we have Mega Sableye, which looks absolutely fantastic, and I am sad that we do not get this physical printing in the TCG with all of the effects and stuff that would be given to a special illustration rare, because this art would look phenomenal with all the sparkles and texture and everything like that. But alas, this is what we must settle for. And rest in peace, I must say, to all Gen 3 Mega Evolution fans. Like, it really, what a blow that the Trico line is only available in TCG Pocket. And also Mega Blaziken and Mega Swampert are only in TCG Pocket. Like, that's rough. That's rough boots. Oh, and then we have this Melodic, which is stunning. Once again, I wish they would print these cards in the real TCG, because can you imagine this? Like, we already had a phenomenal Melodic SIR in Surging Sparks. Oh my gosh. But like this one, it's so good. It's so good. I love the angle, the melodic, the water, the love disc, the everything of this is so good. I would love to see it as a physical TCG with the full treatment of texture and sparkles. And then we have a Piplup who is cute. We have gotten like a lot of Piplup cards in in the silver border era. I'm a little bit surprised. Like I didn't think there must be somebody at the company who's really batting for Piplup. And then the immersion rare from this time was Dedenne. Now, immersion rares are a little bit goofy to print physically because, like, just the art that they choose to be, like, the key frame art in the front of the card, I don't know, it just feels like they see it as the immersion rare first and as a card second, if that makes sense. So, like, it's not, I don't know, there's, I don't know, it's just, I'm specifically thinking there's a Mega Lucario immersion rare that they did, where I just wish it was a little bit more zoomed out, that we saw more of the actual immersion rare image, or that it didn't feel so unfinished, if that makes sense. Like, if you think of, like, one of the first immersion rares from TCG Pocket that they released, the Circle Circuit Pikachu EX, like, that could have been a card on its own, and it was kind of a bonus on top to be an immersion rare. And now it feels like the opposite way, where it's like it's an immersion rare first, and then, like, a standalone card second, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just wish they would invert that again, so that it felt like an immersion rare could be a standalone card without having to do the full immersion rare effect of it. And then we have a Mega Diancie, which I don't understand the angle of this one. So I kind of, like, I understand, like, that's her hand reaching out, but I understand why this one didn't really get printed, because, like, this, I would have moved her hand back to be kind of like, how do I describe this? I would have not have had her, like, reaching for the camera like that. I think it breaks up the image, unfortunately, which sucks because, like, otherwise, very pretty card. And then we have a Sylveon just hanging out in the pink. And then, oh my gosh, I love this card. This is, I think, my favorite card from the set. It's just this Goomy in the rain. He's so delighted to be here. Oh, he's so cute. I love him very much. And then this Marini is really cool. I love how purple this card is. And also, I think we kind of forget, but Marini and, I almost said Corsola. Yeah, no, it is Corsola, not Cursula. Corsola kind of have beef. And so it's like, I feel like this is a callback to specifically the Marshadow Pikachu illustration rare that we got from Mega Evolution. But I really like this Marini Corsola, because those are two Pokemon that are not often thought about in the TCG, but I love this color palette. I love this art. I think it's fabulous. Oh, and then we have this Hisuian Zoroark that looks phenomenal. I love it in the snow. I love the white of his hair with the background, with the movement of the snow. It's so good. Ooh, very good job on this one. And then last but not least, this cute little Greedent who's just kind of stealing stuff. Really love the line work of this one. This is also one that printed a little bit duller physically, but absolutely fabulous addition to anybody who's doing, like, a fall leaves thingy of their binder. So yeah, and that is all the proxies from this latest set. So I will go ahead and put these into my binders, and then y'all will see them again when we come to these Pokemon in the collection. Yeehaw! Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do all of those YouTube things. I am mostly saying this to make sure that I am appeasing the algorithm with the engagement buzzwords. And I will see y'all in the next one.